We have a mental health crisis in this whole entire world. Welcome and thank you guys for joining me for another episode of the Opinionated Podcast. Today we have some breaking news. I was originally going to do some other content, but what the hell is going on in this world? It's absolutely insane. We had 2 shootings today. We had one in Australia and one at Brown University. What is happening? And I know everyone's going to be like, oh, well, this is a normal day in the USA. No, it's not. This is not normal. Even from all the way back to Columbine, up to Evergreen, to the STEM school, to Virginia Tech, all these other schools, this is not normal. And if you guys don't know what's going on, here's the videos of what's happening.
A suspect, a person of interest, as they're calling it, is in custody. An update on the victims: 2 dead, 7 now in stable condition, 1 in critical but stable condition, and 1 has been discharged from the hospital. Those were the 9 that we heard about.
And here's the one from Australia.
Australian authorities are calling this a terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community as it was celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. 2 gunmen opened fire with long guns.
Now, this is more primitive in the United States, right? Schools, somewhat at churches and stuff like that. But the problem with this inside of the United States, I can't speak on Australia because I really don't follow their politics like that. But what's going on in America needs to be addressed. There is a mental health crisis going on, and it has only gotten worse since the pandemic. Okay, I get people were locked up, couldn't go out and do what they wanted to do, drove people crazy. I understand that. But Congress and the Senate and the executive need to address this and what is actually going on in this country. There is far too many schools, churches, everything like that, having mass shootings. This is absolutely out of control. The first one should have been a wake-up call and been like, maybe we should address this. We have armed guards at our banks. We have armed guards at our DMVs. We have them, we have certain mechanisms and tools that we use inside of different, buildings and stuff like that. But yet we can't seem to figure out how to protect our schools, our churches. Really? And I denounced the one in Australia. The anti-Semitism is absolutely, denounced, not okay. It does not sit well with me. I have my gripes and stuff like that with us putting Israel first and sending the money and, every decision we seem to make involves AIPAC and everything like that. But to actually act on those thoughts, the anti-Semitism is not okay. We need to sit down and really have a hardcore discussion about how we can fix this mental health crisis. Sit down with other governments and figure out how are we going to get this to work. Now in America, we have the Second Right, correct? Or the Second Amendment. The right to bear arms against a tyrannical government. But we need to figure out why people are deciding to go out and use them to harm other people. Violence is not the answer. None of this is the answer. But there is an answer to the problem of people going out there and using these tools to harm other human beings. I don't understand it. Why, allocate more funding for armed guards inside of schools. Allocate more mental health research. Put, not really going for asylums, but put therapists inside of schools. Put more accessible people that we can talk to as the United States, as Australia, as all the places that are having these issues. Put more access to mental health. You're neglecting it. The representatives in this country are neglecting it. There's no debate. There's no discussion. Lock them in a fucking room. Put them in a fucking room. And don't let them come out until they find a solution to this. Sure, give them food and water. The basic necessities. What do you call it? Put a toilet in there for them that they can use. A porta potty. But do not let them out until they find a solution to this. And I also do not think, and this is just my opinion, you can roll with it if you want. The political division needs to fucking stop. On both sides. Democrats and Republicans. Republicans or Democrats. Whoever you want to call it. This shit needs to stop. Because the funny thing about TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all these social media apps is there are people watching. People under the age of 18. They're watching grown-ass adults go into these debate forums, screaming at each other, calling them, you know, obscenities left, right, and the third, and watching and reacting off of this. They're like, that's the thing I try to preach when I go into a TikTok debate space, right? These people are watching us. These children of the next generation are watching us. Generation A is now coming up. Damn, I feel old. But the millennials, the baby boomers, people on the left, people on the right, the extreme left, need to get a grip because the younger generations are watching us. They're watching you. And they're taking influence from this. We need to sit down and have a long, hard discussion, the raw discussion, right? Something that like really, you know, gets to the soul of these issues because we're having too many people unalive every year from gun violence. And on top of that, Congress and Senate and world leaders are not sitting down to have the discussions needed. Now, granted, there are some countries that are actually, you know, taking steps to prevent this. Do I agree with taking away people's right to own a gun? No. But there should be extensive training. There should be, you know, courses that you have to go through. There should be things in line to show that you are capable of responsibly owning one without hurting another human being. That's what's crazy to me. We don't have anything in place. You go in, you get a background check, you get your, you know, you get it within 1 to 3 days depending on where you live. Here in Colorado, it's 3 days. I can buy as many as I want. If I have the money, it doesn't matter. But there should be some things in place to, you know, show that you are responsible, that you are mentally cognitive of going out and owning one without unaliving a bunch of people. It should be simple. But we make it harder than it is because, oh, you're infringing. Nobody's infringing if you could prove that you can own one without harming people. Simple as that. It shouldn't even be a fucking debate. I understand the right and the left and how you guys want, you know, we want this. We want, you know, comprehensive background checks. We want mental cognitive tests. We want this on the left. And then on the right, oh, you're infringing on my Second Amendment. You're going to take away all of them. You're going to do this, that, and the third. There needs to be something put in place. But the anti-Semitism going after the Jewish people, you can have your disagreements all day long. You can sit there and have disagreements. But to actually go after them and attack on those thoughts is fucking disgusting. It is denounced. It is not okay. I even posted a video. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with a lot of things. But to act on it, that's a whole different step. You can have an opinion. You can have a disagreement. But stop harming fucking human beings. You get one life and you're taking away somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's sister, somebody's brother, somebody's aunt, and hurting them because you can't fucking be responsible. It's crazy to me. So the governments and the people in power and people that are in the lobbying groups and the people that actually advocate for this stuff need to sit down and have the real hard conversations in front of people that can actually, you know, sit down and debate this topic. Have a raw discussion. Sit down and make it known that, you know, these are the ideas we need to capitulate with each other to make this happen. But until then, this is going to continue to happen. And this is the sad thing in America is because everybody's like, oh, this is the new norm. No, this is not normal. No. And if you're saying that, you're being complacent. That is a complacent statement. This is the new norm. No, it's fucking not. Because this is why I refuse to have children. And it should not be that way. Because you send them out into a world to possibly go to school, to get a phone call that, you know, an active shooter's going on. It's not okay. You're causing more mental stress to children. You're causing more freaking damage. And this needs to be handled. So I'm calling on all representatives in the United States and across overseas to get off your fucking ass and have a debate, have a discussion, and actually address the shit that's going on with mental health, with these tools, and, you know, make them still accessible, but put things in place to make it a little bit more, show your responsibility that I can actually own one without harming somebody. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And all these representatives who are sitting here and you know, being complacent and letting this happen, oh, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Yes, thoughts and prayers are great. But action needs to happen behind those thoughts and prayers. Sitting here and just being, oh, we pray for the loved ones, we pray. No, you need to get off your fucking ass, start making some phone calls, call your representative, and the next one to you, on the left, on the right, and come into a fucking agreement and figure this out. Because if you don't, this is going to continue to keep happening and lives are going to continue to be lost. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, I apologize for not posting another podcast yesterday. I was just exhausted, had a lot of things going on. We will be back Wednesday and Thursday with another podcast episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the follow button. What a sad day around the world, man. This is absolutely insane. And it's ridiculous. But make sure you guys are following. Follow the podcast. We'll be dropping a new one Wednesday and Thursday, Saturdays and Sundays. Hope you guys have a safe weekend. Make sure you guys, watch your backs. Make sure you report anything you see that's suspicious. And just be safe out there. This world is getting worse and worse and worse. And it's absolutely disgusting. I love you guys. Stay informed, but always remember, stay opinionated.